Right, Emmanuel Clase, as we talked about, might be sent down to Class B. Class A.
Class A, yeah.
Here's the injury update. The MRI confirmed that he has a moderate strain of the whatever that muscle is in his upper back. Expected to miss 8 to 12 weeks of game activity. He'll be reevaluated on a weekly basis. Don't you think it's amazing how these doctors can say 8 to 10 weeks and they're usually right?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're going by, there's probably been 40 of these injuries in the last 5 years.
So analytics
it
will tell you.
averages out at about that length, I guess.
That, or they'll say 8 to 10 weeks and he's the starting pitcher on Tuesday. Never works that way.
If the game's at 1 o'clock.
Right. All right, so forgetting about injuries here with the Indians and assuming the pitchers come back when they're supposed to come back, you look at the potential lineup, you look at the rotation, what are you seeing?
I see a contending team. I really think that, you have to assume Clevinger will come back fine, and hopefully Carrasco will too, and Clase eventually will be, I presume, like maybe the setup guy or even eventually a co-closer with Brad Hand. And that's still a very good pitching staff, especially, with Bieber at the top of the pile, and I think they're going to be in all the games. I think their lineup will be adequate. How about having 4 switch hitters in the infield?
Yeah.
I wonder how many teams have ever started a year with that.
Well, none of them broke that record. Nobody went with 5.
No, yeah. So, although, yeah. And
well,
then
it gives Terry a lot of options.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, which he likes. I mean, and so I think they have a chance. I mean, we'll see if the Twins can do what they did last year. Again, they seem to have lost some pitching, so I think it's going to be an interesting division.
If you're the manager of the Indians, where do you put, with the lineup as you see now, barring trades or other injuries, where would you put Lindor in the lineup?
I'd probably keep him where he is.
At 1.
Yeah. I mean, he's comfortable there, which is apparently a big thing for managers. That they don't like to put players where they don't really want to hit. I remember Manny Ramirez at one point, just 3 years into his career, they wanted to hit him 4th, and he told Hargrove, I'm not really comfortable there. I'd rather.
Why do you suppose that was?
Well,
I mean, here's the most confident hitter we've almost.
Well, we don't know if he was the most confident. He was the most accomplished, and then maybe some guys just look at that spot as being a little bit too much for them, and they'd rather be 3rd or 5th, I guess.
All right, Mike Clevinger was injured last year at the beginning of the year. He started. He was placed on the 60-day DL this time. The recovering timetable is estimated 6 to 8 weeks on that one. Last year in June, he returned to action, pitched 4 2/3 innings against Texas through 91 pitches, which I remember at the time, to me, seemed like an awful lot of pitches for a guy with a back strain problem. But he did it and was terrific down the stretch.
We used to have an old saying on the baseball beat, and it's this: the stiffs never get hurt. It's always the key guys that get hurt, it seems.
So somebody called me, however many years it was that Danny Ferry was playing for the Cavaliers. And the Cavs ran up a whole string of injuries, and a guy calls with the "How come" quickie. He says, "How come Danny Ferry never gets hurt?" It's the same thing.
Yeah. It's like, the Indians, like every year, it's like you're just waiting for the first star to drop.
All right, so in Class A, 100-mile-an-hour pitcher. Mm-hmm. Has he got control?
Probably not as much as they would like, but when you're throwing 100 miles an hour, you get guys to swing out of the zone sometimes just because they're trying to catch up to that fastball.
I think at one time Francona was talking about Aroldis Chapman, and he could say the same thing about Class A, that you can throw out the lefty-righty theory when guys who throw 100 miles an hour, it doesn't matter if they're lefty-righty or ambidextrous.
Yeah, 100 is 100.
100 is
no
100.
No matter which way the hitter hits.
That's true.